What's up, guys? Cappon.Gaming here, aka Born to Kill You 31, here again on PS4. I want to talk about some Rainbow Six operators and some buffs for these operators. So, Rainbow Six has been great. They've always accommodated players in the community and changed operators in the game based on community feedback. I had the same idea that they did with IQ in giving her that outline on her gadget for electronics, and that was a great buff. And I'm glad to see it was utilized in the game. So we're going to talk about some other operators. First up, Chanka. Everybody knows Chanka needs a buff. Let's talk about how he is right now. So right now, I love the idea of Tachanka. A stationary turret that does massive damage. It sounds like a great idea, but everybody knows he is hardly picked. He is a shamed operator. Everybody calls him Lord Tachanka. I don't even know how he got the nickname, but whenever I pick him in a ranked match, people get upset. They're like, "Oh, don't take him. We need someone better than him." So I'd like to see him be a little bit more useful. All of his weapons are identical to Cappon, and they're all decent weapons. I favor the shotgun personally because I like the damage output and the fire rate, and I also like the ability to be able to open hatches, and then you can set up the turret and look down through a hatch, and you can open up murder holes with the shotgun, which is great. So you can make line of sight for the actual turret itself. His extra equipment is similar to Cappon as well. He's got the two barbed wire, but he's got a shield instead of the nitro cell. His head hitbox seems a little bit bigger than most of the other characters because he's got that big helmet. And he's a 3 armor, 1 speed character, along with almost every other Spetsnaz character, which really bugs me. I don't know why there's so many heavy Russians. You got Fuze, he's 3 armor, 1 speed, Chanka, Cappon, and you got Glaz, who's 2 armor, 2 speed. I really think that they should make one of the operators another 2 speed, 2 armor, whether it's Cappon, Chanka, or Fuze, one of them. Anyway, let's talk about some buffs specifically for Tachanka. Simple buff would be give him impact grenades instead of a shield. The impact grenades would be great for opening up holes so that his turret can have nice line of sight through walls and into from one room to another, so you can use this turret more effectively at a range. As I said, making him 2 speed, 2 armor, because there's too many heavy Russians in the game. That's one that they could do. One thing they really need to do, and this needs to be done, is change the animation for when the turret gets destroyed. I don't know if you've ever been on the turret when it gets destroyed, but it simply just disappears underneath you or from beside you. It doesn't explode, it doesn't go boom, nothing. It just disappears, and it's very weird. And it's hard to tell what's going to actually damage the turret or not, so they need to change that for sure. Now, on to the bigger stuff. My favorite buff for Tachanka would be put 2 side panels on his machine gun, something like this in this picture. This idea could be modified. It could either be, you could either increase the coverage or reduce the coverage. You could, bevel the edges so that it protects from the side, kind of like Montaigne's shield. You could do a different variation of this. Now this shield could fold out, similar to like the wall reinforcements where they extend that final bar and it latches up. Something like that could be implemented so that you fold out both sides of the shield and they lock in with that kind of latch. This would obviously mean placing the turret would take more time to set up because you have to deploy the shield around it as well. But once the turret is deployed, it should need to be moved around anyway because it should be more effective in that stationary position. This layout would prevent Peeker's advantage. That's what I was trying to say. It would prevent Peeker's advantage. Some people going around the wall and seeing Tachanka before he gets to see them, because Tachanka sticks out when you're taking a corner. His elbows stick out, the side of his head sticks out. Really, can take advantage of the peeker's advantage with the Chanka. So having that shield would help prevent that. It would also prevent drone-assisted wall bangs. What I mean by this is you have a attacker teammate roll his drone in, spots the Chanka, and then one of his buddies just shoots at the mark through a wall, and you end up dying. Having the shield would help, kind of prevent that a little bit. For direct head-to-head gunfights, the Chanka would be at a massive advantage because he'd have the shield up. It could have a little slit, to expose his head, but his arms and most of his chest and hips and shoulders should be protected by the shield, just to give him an extra edge in a head-to-head fight. If someone takes a corner really quickly, they can't just quickly pop his head like Ash. We've all been there with Ash, where she runs around the corner and just quickly headshots you. This should help prevent that. He'd still be vulnerable to Capital's crossbow, so he wouldn't be super overpowered because the crossbow could take him out. This shield could have an Ash charge hit it, and similar to a deployable shield where you can Ash the deployable shield, you could Ash the actual turret itself, and if the Jaeger doesn't intercept it, then the turret gets destroyed and could hurt anybody on the turret as well. Any kind of explosive would still affect the turret as it does now, and it's not like he'd be super overpowered because it would still be stationary. A place to rest his feet off the ground would be another great thing because then more of his body would be protected. I've had a couple times where I've set the turret up somewhere and, let's say an attacker's coming up the stairs, they can see my feet before I can even see a bit of their profile, and then they end up just shooting my feet and I die, or something stupid like that. So having his feet off the ground behind the shield a bit more would be great as well. Another possible idea would be give him a harness that allows him to dismount the turret from the actual tripod, and he can carry it around, but he would be similar to Blackbeard with his rifle shield. He'd be very slow. He wouldn't be able to vault. He wouldn't be able to go prone. He'd have to hip fire, so the accuracy wouldn't be as great. And if the tripod itself gets destroyed, then he's stuck with the turret, which would suck. You wouldn't be able to revive people with the turret in your hand, stuff like that. I don't favor this one. I like the shield idea better, in my opinion, just because it accommodates the team more. You might actually see a teammate jump on the turret if there's a shield on it, and it's a more effective piece of equipment. Now, let's talk about Glaz. I think Glaz needs a bit of a buff. I get way too many injuries with his rifle. I don't know if it's a common thing, but for me, I get injures on 1 armor characters, 2 armor characters, 3 armor characters. It doesn't matter. They need to increase the damage his gun does or the penetration value, one of the two. Because sometimes you need to shoot a 1 armor character 3 times to kill them, and that just doesn't seem right. When you're sniping, sometimes you have a small window of opportunity where you only have a millisecond to land a certain shot. And if that shot's not fatal or doesn't connect properly, often your position is compromised, and then at that point you're probably going to die. Or, you have to move and you sacrifice that window or that sniping position that you were in. And the rounds are short in Rainbow Six, so you don't have all the time in the world to stay at a position and, wait for that perfect shot. So I think it should be as follows. If you are a 1 armor character, a body shot anywhere that's not the limbs, so anywhere on like center mass, the head or neck, obviously, that should be a 1 shot. Pretty much kill. Like it should kill you, in my opinion, right? For 2 armor, anything above the midline should be like a 1 shot kill. So this would be like the heart, the lungs, the neck, the head, obviously. Anything around the top part of your rib cage, you're done with 2 armor. And then obviously 3 armor would only be headshot, instant kill. Now there'd be some factors to incorporate in this. You'd want, you have rook armor. What if you're shooting through walls and barricades? All of that would need to be adapted. Basically, I think if you have Rook armor, it just puts you up one more level. So if you were armor level 1, you have Rook armor that puts you up armor level 2, and so on and so on. Please, also another thing they really need to do is get rid of his smoke grenades and bring back his breaching charges, because he is so hard to use without the breaching charges. I mean, he's really hardly an effective operator. You have to use his glass bullets to open up holes to actually shoot through, or you have to rely on like Ash or something. I miss his breaching charges. Huge. Another operator I want to talk about would be Fuze. So Fuze is a 2-speed, or sorry, he's a 1 armor, or 3 armor, sorry, 3 armor, 1-speed operator. Again, a heavy Russian. And as I said, it would be really nice if there was another 2-speed, 2 armor Russian, and he would be a prime candidate for it. I also think Cappon would benefit from that, because, you know, it takes some time to run around and put all his traps down, but I'm here to talk about Fuze. So, again, like I said, there's too many heavy Russians. Making one of them a bit faster would be nice. He gets too many injuries with his gadget as well. I don't know if anybody's ever used Fuze, but when he places cluster charge down, I almost never expect to get a kill with it. There's almost no point in using his gadget. It's very underwhelming. They need to increase the radius of the explosion for each grenade, or, you know, maybe shorten the fuse of each grenade or something, because you'll have grenades that physically hit the defenders, and you'll hear them yell, and they'll be like, ah, or whatever, they get hit by it, but when it blows up, it doesn't even kill them. And to me, that seems kind of stupid. I think if it hits you, you know, you should pretty much be dead, right? It's really annoying when you hear them scream because the grenade hits them, and then you get no injuries and no kills. And it's even more annoying when you get multiple injuries, and, you know, it's in a really small room, and it's like, how does that not kill you? There's been several times where I've been playing Hostage or something like that. I'm sure you've seen on my clips, and they'll fuse the room, and I'll go down, and, you know, the hostage will be perfectly fine. It's too random, and it's too scattered, if anything. So they really need to do something about Fuze to make him a little bit more effective. A non-lethal option would be great for Fuze. I know I was talking to the community about that. You know, having 6 smoke grenades. Imagine filling a room with smoke. That would be insane. Or flashbangs. You know, that would be better than he is right now, because you'd blind everybody in the room probably. And it'd be great for hostage, obviously. That's the main idea. Would be it would be great for hostage, so you don't blow up the hostage. But I think it would be all around effective in any circumstance. There could also be, you could put a gadget on his phone, like his drone phone. You could put something on that just to allow him to actually direct the direction of the cluster charge, so you have some control as to where the grenades are going to go. And obviously they're still going to bounce, but you can have control of, you know, which direction you want them to go. Somehow being able to direct them would be nice, even if, you know, they made a statement saying if you put the cluster charge down, whatever way you're facing is where the direction most of the charges will go off. Something, you know, just to have some way of knowing where the clusters are going to go would be great. Another possible idea would be, you know, maybe sticky grenades, so they don't actually bounce around. Have 6 sticky grenades go out, spread out around the room, and get shot in each direction, and stick to whatever surface, and they blow up. This could also be an idea for another future operator, something like that. It'd be cool if all 6 shot out in like a fan motion in a certain direction at the same time, and then they all went off simultaneously. That'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of like an airstrike, I guess, but that might be too overpowered. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. You know, what operators do you think you want buffs? What buffs you think would work well, and, you know, just leave me any comment you have down below. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. This is Cappon.Gaming. I'll see you in